Biggest weekend of the year. We've completed it. We have our emotions. We have our thoughts. Some things we're excited about. Some things disappointed us. Some things overwhelmed us and we fell back in our seats. Some things underwhelmed us and we sunk our shoulders. WrestleMania 41 has come. It has gone. Now it is for us to assess, recap, review, but ultimately shine a light on the biggest weekend in this art form that we love. Rather we hated it or loved it. I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad that it's an annual thing. And I'm glad I've been able to watch it as long as I have. Oh, but we gonna talk about it. You not gonna run from criticism and you not gonna shy from this praise. On this channel, we give it 100%. We don't sugarcoat. We don't try to check for people's feelings. We speak our truth. And we should always do that in life. With that being said, oh, Dwayne, I couldn't even wait. Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, Black Adam, Hobbs, Jumanji, Rampage, Maui. Where were you? All right. Mania is over. It's crazy how we wait for Mania all damn year. And then once it gets here, it feels like it never lasts long enough. No freaky. Like, even the fact that they've expanded it to 2 days, I just, wrestling fans, we're just never satisfied. We always want to know what's next. We always want to see what match is next, what storyline is next. But sometimes we just got to sit back and really enjoy what we saw. But let's get into it, man. I enjoyed the weekend. Overall, I enjoyed the weekend. Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2. I enjoyed the weekend. I thought it delivered on being grand. I thought it delivered on being impactful. And ultimately, WrestleMania did what it was supposed to do. Leave us talking, leave us wanting more, leaving us with an emotion. Rather it was happy, angry, sad, elated, confused. It left us feeling something. And that's ultimately what we want when we watch this sport. But let's get right into it. Night 1. They started with Jey Uso versus the Ring General. This is a personal preference match. I feel like the pacing, the style of the match, the storytelling that was involved within the match. This is not going to be everybody's favorite. This is not going to be a match that some people will go back and watch. But for me, I enjoyed it. I thought it had ring psychology. I thought they told a good story. And I thought the way that they booked it, it did a good job with the ending. Because when you book a match a certain way, either the last 5 minutes can feel like the whole match, or the last 5 minutes can just feel like an extra 5 that was unnecessary. And for me, the way this match was booked, that last 5 to 8 minute, that sweet spot when the crowd was on their feet and they were getting the pops, and Jay was hitting the multiple spears, he was hitting the super kicks, and then he hit the splashes. Like, it was all a build up, and I think a lot of people forget that. And I think that's something that Gunther excels in, is that psychology build of a match, and something that needs to be acknowledged. With that being said, shout out Jey Uso. My prediction was correct. The Yeet Man is now your world heavyweight champion. Not only is he your world heavyweight champion, but he tapped out Gunther. One of the biggest shockers of the weekend was Gunther tapping out. Shout out Gunther for doing the JOB. Shout out Gunther for putting Jay over. And he put Jay over in an amazing way by tapping out. Now, Jey Uso, you're the man now. What you gonna do? As they say, that belt only gets heavier the longer you carry it. So now we shall see what Jey Uso would do with his reign. But overall, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a great opener. I thought it did its job getting the fans involved. It did a good job giving us that moment, that iconic moment of him yeeting with the crowd and Jimmy coming out. Really enjoyed this match. Really solid. I haven't given it a rewatch yet. This is still my first thoughts, my first reactions. But I've sat with the match for a day or two, and I still consider the match to be of good quality and definitely worth watching or rewatching. Now let's get into a match that I wasn't, again, excited for. I wasn't chomping at the bit to see it. The World Tag Team Championships between the War Raiders and the New Day. Um, I said in my predictions I wasn't really worried about the match quality. It just didn't feel like a big mania match as it could have been and should have been. With that being said, it was cool. I wasn't like on the edge of my seat. They had some cool spots, some cool moves when the New Day was working on Ivar's neck, trying to soften up the neck. One thing that was really good was I think it was Ivik. I think Ivik and Ivar, the one with the bigger beard. When he got the hot tag and he got the rolling, man. For his size, bro, he can really go. The War Raiders are really a dope team. Again, I think that the crowd was kind of dead for this match, but I think it's for two reasons. I think the War Raiders haven't had enough character development, and I feel like the New Day's heel turn hasn't been exciting as we have wanted it to be. But the match was solid. It was smooth. I really enjoyed that one spot where, again, the one with the bigger beard, when both the new members of the New Day were sitting up on the barrier, and he does the running splash. That's a really nice move. The finish was cool too, with the New Day hitting a move and then them falling over and Kofi Kingston holding one of the War Raiders' legs so he couldn't kick out. I think if the New Day are gonna be champs now, they need to be full on heels. Cheat every time, man. Just forget clean wins. Just make sure that you win. I think that help give them heat, help give their title reign some gravitas and some story to it. Overall, though, it was a decent match. If you're watching Mania from beginning to end, you can watch this match. Am I gonna run to my TV to rewatch this match? Not necessarily. Will I give it a rewatch? Yeah, just to maybe see if I missed anything. But compared to the rest of the show, this match was okay. But like I said, I think both the teams are solid tag teams. But hopefully, we can actually get a better story with those tag titles and with the New Day now that they are the champions. All right, let's move right along to the first female match of the night, which was Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I really liked their entrances. I liked Naomi's gear. I thought Jade's gear was good too. That's one thing about this Mania. I feel like we wasn't getting like the spectacular gear. I feel like some people's gear was really valid and fire, and then some of it was like, you could have did a little more. But overall, decent match. Compared to the opener, these next two matches were not on that caliber. The first match I think had great ring psychology, but then again the story with it and it being a world title gave it more. This Jade and Naomi match, Naomi showed why she's a veteran. She showed why she's one of the best women wrestlers. And I hope they continue to develop the character and the proceed with caution. With that being said, Jade did pick up the win. I said in my predictions I wanted to see Jade and I wanted to see where she was. Jade is a physical specimen. She catches your eye. She's statuesque. She's in shape. She's a beautiful black woman. But it's for me, man. I feel like there's something missing with her in the ring. And for me, when I watch Jade, again, I think she has the potential to be a top star because of her look. And she seems like a nice person. Like I've seen interviews of her. She has a family. She has a daughter. You know what I'm saying? So that all those things outside the ring, she seems like a great person. And I want her to achieve. But it's like she doesn't have a flow. I feel like you can tell that she's thinking about every spot instead of just wrestling. I think she's more worried about, okay, this is next, let's do this, than just flowing with the match and how the match feels. I think that in itself is a art, being able to just feel the match, feel the energy, feel what the match needs. But ultimately, that probably comes with time. Again, I'm not an insider of wrestling. I don't know all the scoop. I've never wrestled myself. I'm just telling you what I've experienced and seen through my years of watching. And for her, my criticism of her is it just doesn't look smooth. Like, it looks like she's thinking about everything. With that being said, I think this storyline isn't over. I think this is just the beginning. I think they'll probably have at least two more matches. I think with Naomi getting the second one, and then probably Naomi getting the third one with the help of maybe Bianca in the heel turn. Because I'm starting to think that Bianca maybe have more to do with that attack than we're all led to believe. With that being said, let's move on to the next match. All right, next match on the card. The megastar L.A. Knight, yeah, versus the Samoan Werewolf, coast to coast, post to post, all gas, no brakes, off the leash, yada I mean, Jacob Fatu. Now, this was when we started getting into some better entrances. I like Jacob Fatu. He came out with the Samoan Werewolf mask. He was stoic. He looked like he was really ready for the moment. But then L.A. Knight came out with a Maserati, an all white Maserati, real smooth, real player. I was gonna change my pick because I was watching, but I was like, nah, let me keep my pick. Let me keep my pick of Fatu. It was a really cool moment when L.A. Knight, his music hit, right, and it was like L.A. and then the he rolled the window down. It was like perfect timing. It was great. With that being said, I think this match picked up where Jey Uso and Gunther left off. I don't know if I'm telling this in order or not, but either way, this match kind of picked up the energy for me. I thought Jacob and LA had good chemistry for this to be their, as far as I know, their first time in the ring together. They had some really cool spots. They had this one spot where Jacob Fatu did a moonsault and LA Knight caught him with a BFT out of midair. It was a good match to me. I thought it had a good flow. Um, Ultimately, we ended with a new champion. Jacob Fatu is now your new United States champion. What is that sticking up? Oh, that's a little piece from a do rag. It fell out. But with that being said, I hope this means that LA Knight is starting to get moved to the main event picture. Maybe we can get him versus the champion who won on night 2, which we'll get to. Um, I will say I felt like this match could have gave a little more. Like, we could have got some more spots out of it. But with that being said, I think with the time allotted, Jacob Fatu showed why he had the potential to be the future and be a big star. I think LA showed why LA Knight should be a big star. Jacob Fatu with the intensity, with the character, with the athleticism. LA Knight with the charisma, the personality, and LA Knight can put on a good match. Overall, I would say I enjoyed this match. As of right now, Gunther and Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, those two, the world title match and the United States matches, were definitely the best matches of the night so far. With that being said, again, Jacob Fatu is your new United States champion. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, and I did want to say, I was nervous when Solo came out with Jacob. I'm like, oh, he's about to get screwed over. No, Solo. I was on stream. I was screaming like, no, Solo. But he wasn't even at ringside. They'll probably expand upon that storyline now because Jacob Fatu does have gold and Solo doesn't. But let's move on. All right. Let's get to, I guess you could say, a surprise because Rey Mysterio injured himself the Go Home show. I talked about that in the Go Home show episode. So he was replaced with Rey Fenix. So we're about to talk about Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano. This match was a surprise, but when you think about who's in the match, you knew you was gonna get something fire. The match start with El Grande getting kicked in the face. by a guy from AAA, and then he gets in the ring and he goes on to have a pretty solid match against Ray Phoenix. I really enjoyed it for it to be a just thrown together match. It was really good. They had this one spot that I liked where they were doing like this little chain wrestling, right? And they both were laying on the ground, and the ref was counting it, and they threw each other's shoulder up, and they threw their shoulders up. It was they had some really cool spots in this match. I think Ray Phoenix will be somebody that WWE will use to really just elevate a match and give us some cool spots. I don't know if they'll ever push Ray Phoenix to the world title picture, because in WWE, you know, you have to be able to, you know, cut a promo and tell a story. I don't really know how good his ability is at that, but if you just want a banger of a match, you just want to get the crowd into it, throw Ray Phoenix in there. With that being said, we did not get a unmasking of El Grande Americano, but El Grande Americano did pick up the win. Of course, you know, with the little medal in his head. It was really cool how they finished it. Ray Phoenix did like a springboard move, and El Grande Americano headbutted him. He was unconscious, and then El Grande Americano does a flying headbutt, boom, and picks up the win. 1, 2, 3. Um, Now that El Grande Americano, I kind of thought they were gonna end the story with El Grande Americano at Mania, but it seems like we're going to continue it. Maybe El Grande picks up some more wins against some luchas. You know, maybe eventually get that match against Rey Mysterio, depending on if Rey Mysterio isn't out that long. Who knows? Maybe he'll even get a rematch against Penta. Um, but whoever this El Grande Americano is, I just hope, you know, hope they do something with him because he's something special. With that being said, I enjoyed this match. I would rewatch it. I thought they had some cool spots. Ray, like I said, man, Ray. I just walked away thinking like Ray Phoenix is just dope, man. He is really dope and he is captivating. I'm excited he's in WWE for sure. Um, this was definitely leading up at this point in the match, in the show. Top three match: Jey Uso, Gunther, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, and Ray Phoenix and El Grande Americano. Now, let's get to these last two. Now, the match everybody was worried about for multiple reasons. Is Charlotte gonna win? Are they gonna force Charlotte with this dub? Yeah, people. I'm not a fan of Tiffy. She's annoying. She's not. She's only popular because she's attractive. She's only popular because of her tetas. She's only popular this, that, and the third. They put everything to bed. Man, this became my match of the night up until that point. I thought this match was a banger, bell to bell. They started the match in the ring, got real aggressive, rolled outside the ring. They were wrestling outside the ring, brawling. Then they got back in the ring and had some great technical wrestling, some great spots. Charlotte showed why she still is one of the best in the world today. And she showed why she's arguably the greatest ever between her resume, her athleticism, and just her ability in the wrestling business with her character, her persona, her attire. And that's another thing. Both of them had really cool ring gear. They both had cool entrances. Almost forgot about that. Tiffany had like a Barbie entrance where she had three different boxes and she came out the middle box, you know, as a Barbie. And then Charlotte pulled up in a Rolls Royce culling it. We had two car entrances on the same night. LA Knight pulled up in the Maserati and Charlotte Flair pulled up in the Rolls Royce. Charlotte, as we know, clean, cool, calm, collected, nice attire, nice robe, nice ring gear up under. She had like a pink and like baby blue thing going on. Tiffy had a pink thing going on. But this was a war, man. I think if you had doubts about Tiffany in ring, I think this match showed it. I think if you had Charlotte as overrated, I think this showed it. And it's not even Charlotte's best match ever, but this showed that Charlotte can still go. I think this showed that Tiffany can hang with some of the greats. She's had a banger against Becky and a no DQ, and then she had a banger against Charlotte. And I hope this feud continues. I hope this is not the only match we get between them. With that being said, Tiffany gets the win with, of course, the prettiest moonsault ever. She goes over clean, and she looked like she'd been through a war. She didn't look all cute and dolled up. Her hair was messed up. Everybody was saying her tooth was cracked. I don't know if it was cracked, but I think her mouth was bleeding. She looked like she got her ass whooped, but got the win. And that's what you needed. You didn't need her walking out of that match looking like she didn't go through nothing. She looked like she went to war. And I thought that this match really didn't surprise me, because when Charlotte won, I said, oh, they're gonna have a banger at Mania. I was just concerned with the story, rightfully so. But it wasn't a full-on technical match. They brawled in the beginning, which was needed. We didn't need a full-on five-star technical match. We needed that brawl, and I think that brawl helped elevate the match. And man, they had some really good chemistry, and it was really smooth. It was dope, man. I really enjoyed that match. Again, this is all no rewatch. This is all first opinions, first thoughts. But the match was dope. Shout out Tiffy with the win. But I hope this is not the last time we see them two lock it up in the ring. I think Tiffany Stratton, she ups that promo, man. She gets that promo and that storytelling to a certain level. She can really be one of, if not the top star in women's wrestling in WWE, alongside, of course, Rhea Ripley, who we will get to later in the video. With that being said, let's move on to the main event, the show stealer. Now, the match we were all waiting for all night. We had the Tribal Chief, God Mode, Needle Mover, Levels Above, Roman Reigns versus Best in the World, Second City Saint, CM Punk, with Paul Heyman in his corner, versus the Visionary, the Revolutionary, once known as the Architect, Seth Rollins. Our first watch, I think I would give it 5 stars. When we talk about heightened drama, storytelling, aura, the match itself, the moments, there's not much I can say bad about this match. They brawled in the crowd. They had a cool spot where CM Punk and Rollins were fighting, and Roman Reigns cleared the barricade and jumped on both of them. It was a cool spot where Roman Reigns put both of them through the announce table. Seth Rollins was like, come on, it's me and you against him. He's the outsider. And it looked like we was about to get a quick little Shield reunion at Mania. And Roman goes and he smacks Rollins, puts CM Punk through the table himself, then puts Seth Rollins through the other announce table. We had this one cool spot where it was a GTS to a spear to a curb stomp. It was dope. It was if I'm not mistaken, Roman got hit with the GTS, boom, then hit. I forgot how the sequence went, but I know Rollins ended with a curb stomp. Like I said, this is off the first watch. Rollins ended it with the curb stomp. It was a great sequence of all 3 finishers. Roman kicked out of the GTS. Roman kicked out of the curb stomp. It was really dope, man. The storytelling involved, the way the camera angle was catching Paul Heyman looking distraught and playing his character and playing his role to a T. Man, Paul Heyman needs his flowers every time. We need to never forget about Paul Heyman. We need to always acknowledge Paul Heyman, the wise man, the creator of ECW. Just amazing, man. Paul Heyman is amazing. And as we're talking about Paul Heyman, let's talk about the moment of the weekend. We have a spot where Seth Rollins is in the corner, laid out. CM Punk is in another corner. Roman is in another corner. Paul Heyman goes to grab a steel chair, and he's conflicted. He doesn't know what to do. And I'm sitting there on stream like, oh my God, here we go. And he looks at Roman and says, I'm sorry. And he hands the chair over to CM Punk. They're both pleading, Paul, give me the chair, give me the chair, give me the chair. He gives it to CM Punk. He's like, I'm sorry, right? CM Punk goes to hit Roman. Paul Heyman low blows him. Ugh. He falls to the ground. And he tells him, you made me do it. I'm sorry, you made me do it. That's my tribal chief. That's my tribal chief, right? Then he offers the chair to Roman. And he goes, my tribal chief. And Roman goes to wailing on CM Punk. Hit him 3 times. Boom. Yelling at him. Ah. Then Paul Heyman goes, look, my tribal chief, look. Seth Rollins is slowly standing up. He says, Paul Heyman says, the shield. Roman goes to swing at Rollins. Paul Heyman drops to his knees and low blows Roman Reigns. I'm on stream going crazy. When he betrayed CM Punk and low blowed him, I was screaming, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And I was right. Paul Heyman, you sly, dirty dog. He hands the chair to Rollins. Paul Heyman sits in the corner with his legs crossed and watches Rollins hits Roman with the chair. He hits Roman, curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. So my prediction was right. But Paul Heyman threw me for a loop. I was pleasantly surprised. I was emotional. I was ecstatic, but yet shocked. A little bit. I was disappointed. I was angry. He betrayed both of them. But in Paul Heyman's words, he never betrayed anybody. Monday Night Raw will be very interesting. Very intriguing. That main event was superb. Excellent. I will rewatch that time and time again. Spots, moments, storytelling, aura, all wrapped into one to give us an amazing end to night one. The opener of night one was a banger. The closing to night one was a banger. Tiffany and Charlotte was a bell-to-bell banger. Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight, solid. Ray Phoenix versus El Grande, solid. Overall, from a wrestling standpoint, night one was solid. But night two gave us that Mania feel. Let's get into it.